Did it go live?
Looks like it stopped. There we go.
We live?
This is not a drill. We are live.
Yeah, we are actually live. Hello, Ramley and other NFL family. We are back for First Down Rams, the best live show on Wednesdays that talks about the Los Angeles Rams. I am Peo Time with the Rams Radar, and I'm joined by the one and the only Rams House. Rams House, how's it going, buddy?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Dude, I am so excited to talk about this game. And we'll talk briefly about the win over the Niners, even though that's old news. We've taken care of the Niners. We're on to bigger, better things. But we got to talk about this Rams Seahawks matchup. We'll have over Rams actions. We'll have what's more likely, but it's just the Rams. But before we do all that, I have something I actually need to show you and everyone watching.
Okay. Yeah, let's do
it. So I saw this picture and just amazing photography. Oh, where did I put it? Excuse me 1 second. Oh, it's evading me here. Where'd it go? Oh, okay. Wait, you talk to the crowd here while I find it.
Okay. Yeah, guys, I'm so excited for this Rams Seahawks game. This has been a game I've been anticipating since the offseason, just with all the changes that the Seahawks made. And now you've got it all building up to this point where you got 2 7-2 teams getting ready to square off at SoFi Stadium. You got the midnight blue dark uniforms on display. Like, I feel like I've been ready for this game since like the offseason. And so I just can't wait till Sunday to be able to see these two teams face off. But I have to ask you guys, do you think it's going to be more of a higher scoring game, like a shootout, or do you think it's going to be a little bit more of a defensive battle? Because in my mind, with how good the Seahawks defense is looking this year, I don't know if any of you guys have watched it, but the Seahawks defense is legit. We know what the Rams defense can do. I'm kind of feeling like it's going to be a lower scoring kind of game between these two teams, but I think it's going to be close. I think it's going to be stressful. I do think the Seahawks are legit, so I think that the hype around this game is definitely deserved. You ready, pal?
I am ready. Okay, so again, this is just incredible camera work. And now anyone who's watching knows Matthew Stafford on this show, he's already the MVP of the league. He's definitely the MVP front runner. But look at this actual photo taken. This is credit of Clutch Points.
Oh, yeah.
You can see just the amazing camera work, literally capturing Stafford throwing a fireball as he is playing this year. Because let's just face it, Matthew Stafford is throwing nothing but the heat when he takes, when he takes like a 3-step or like a 5-step drop back. Mm-hmm. And when you see like, oh, Kyron picked up the blitz, like you just know he's going to throw it and it's going to be a beautiful play. He's playing at such a high level. So before we get into anything, let's assemble everyone in the chat. Can the Matthew Stafford MVP committee please assemble in the chat? And point of order. And can we just nerd out about Matthew Stafford being amazing for a little bit?
He's insane. Definitely, I would say best year of his career that he's played football. Obviously, you've only played half of his season, but the half of the season he's played has just been absolutely incredible. Not only is he throwing touchdowns left and right, is he throwing no looks like we've seen him different arm angles, all the stuff they talk about, but he's also taking care of the football. Only 2 interceptions on the entire year to 25 touchdowns. Like, he's on an absolute heater, and it's so cool to see just because it's like, again, I think the numbers are starting to reflect the kind of quarterback that Stafford has been this whole time. Us Rams fans know how good Stafford is. Even if the stats didn't reflect it, like you knew if you watched him every Sunday. Now it feels like the stats are beginning to reflect truly how good he is. But on top of that, he's also having the best year of his career. And he's throwing to Puka Nacua, Davante Adams, our 13 personnel, 3 tight end looks that we're throwing out there. You really don't have much to complain about if you're a Rams fan.
Not at all. Yeah, it's one of those things that, like, coming into this year, I feel like because of everything that was happening with, Stafford's back and the concerns about his health and things like that, there was this mindset of like, okay, Stafford's going to play, but like this is going to be a run heavy team.
Yeah.
And I was okay with that.
Yeah.
I would, if you go back to videos that have clearly not aged well, I say like, oh, this is like Kyren Williams. He's going to have a big year. Blake Corum's going to have a big year. Like this is going to be a run first team. Boy, was I wrong. Matthew Stafford stepping up in the pocket and just delivering fire darts all over the field. And I'm here for it. I did not see a Matthew Stafford MVP campaign coming at age 37, but here we are. And I think he has just one of the best teams around him he's ever had in his entire career. I do believe that Kyren Williams is possibly the best running back he's had, because when you look back like at the running backs that Stafford has had, like when Reggie Bush played for him, that was later in Reggie Bush's career, right? Like he hasn't had a ton of top level like running backs that were in the prime of their career. So as long as the career Stafford has, Kyren is definitely near the top of that list, which is cool to see. We got to give some shout outs here. I've been clicking along here, but it's great to see everyone. I'm sorry if we missed your comment, but we got Miamdi. I always mess up your name.
Wait, I think I got it. Muad'Dib.
Yes. I practiced it.
Clicked.
It did. I practiced it the other Muad'Dib, and I have to hear it, audio, all that jazz. But good to see you. We got Eugene Isaac. He's saying 35-17 Rams, and I truly believe our defensive front has Darnold seeing ghosts. I love it.
Ooh.
I love it. I was going to bring this up. This is absolutely a Braden Fisk and Kobe Turner game, because Seattle's weakness on their O-line is their interior, and apparently their starting center is out. His name's escaping me right now, but I'm looking at the injury report. Yeah, Jalen Sundell is apparently out with a knee injury, or he didn't practice. I don't know if he's been ruled out for the game yet.
I think he's going to miss this game, just based on some like conversations I've had with Seahawks fans. But for what it's worth, a lot of them have said the same thing of like their backup center that's going to be playing in place of him is very similar in like the tier of play. Like they're different styles in terms of their strengths, but it's going to be about the same kind of contribution. So we'll see how that all plays out there for sure. But I definitely am feeling Kobe Turner could have a big game this game, because Anthony Bradford, their right guard, is somebody like their offensive line has been really good this year. And that's a big reason why Sam Darnold has had his success. But the right guard spot in particular is one that has been struggling. Yeah. So I'm looking at Kobe Turner. I'm looking at Braden Fisk. Obviously, they're going to have a plan for them, but I'm definitely going to keep my eyes on that matchup.
Yeah, absolutely. And I guess, we'll dive into the Seahawks matchup later on. But let's just talk briefly, ever so briefly. And I know it's old news, everyone watching, but we are two Rams fans that always love it when the Rams beat the 49ers. Which Rams fan in the world doesn't love that? So Rams, maybe let's just start with that. What are your thoughts on the aftermath of the Rams beatdown of the 49ers in Santa Clara on Sunday?
I'm still riding high on it. I don't care that it's a few days later from when it happened. I expected this, I thought there's a chance it could be a blowout and go the way that it did, but I was expecting more of a close game based on what history has shown us between these two, no matter what injuries happen. But the Rams just continued their streak of putting up 30-plus points on a team. They put up 7 touchdowns on the 49ers, which granted are beat up. But to do that in their stadium, I think this was a big game to win, to get 2 games ahead of them in the division. And again, it doesn't matter what your record is. If the Rams were like 0-17 or 0-16 and managed to beat the Niners once, I'd be happy. It's one of those teams that you just want to beat no matter what. So I had a lot of fun watching it. Offense performed really well. I think a lot of people have reacted to how the defense played against them and how that may have been a bad performance. But I think that the Rams were just kind of sitting back, letting them do that, just knowing that they were able to go out there and score every time. I think they knew that the Niners wouldn't be able to keep up. Like it's not that they wanted the Niners to score, but I don't think there was a sense of urgency to get a stop every time. And we saw a Nate Landman punch out again. Like, how many times are we going to see that this year?
Yeah.
Like, it was just such a fun game all around.
Yeah, and you know what? One of my favorite things about that game is there were so many points in that game you thought the momentum was going to kind of shift the 49ers way, and the Rams would have to like take it back or something like that. That didn't happen. This Rams offense, every time that the 49ers, got within a score or something like that, the Rams were like, fine, we're just going to score again. We're not going to let you come back into this game. And that is a sign of a very good football team. That is the sign of a football team that's ready to compete to win a Super Bowl. That is the sign of a quarterback who is well aware of, that, okay, the opposing team's offense, they've kind of figured out a bit of a scheme. Kittle and Juwan Jennings were having a bit of a day against our defense. The defensive line wasn't really getting the pressure on Mac Jones because credit Mac Jones, he did a great job getting the ball out quick. But when Stafford and this offense took the field, it did not shock me every time. I guess they did have 2 punts, but didn't feel like it. Every time they went down, and when they got in the red zone, I remember being like, okay, like maybe this is where we see like the field goal from Mevis or something like that.
Yeah.
But no, they punched the ball in to the end zone, and they were able to get different playmakers involved. And it's been really cool seeing people nerd out about the 13 personnel that the Rams have been using. And it kind of gives me the vibes like when Sean McVay started and like the Rams ran a lot of 11 personnel, and every Rams fan in the world became an expert on 11 personnel. And I feel like that's happening again, but now like, oh yeah, 13 personnel, like this is what it is, right?
Yeah, I totally agree with that. And this feels like one of those things that it's going to be like a shockwave around the NFL of the 13 personnel. And we're already seeing it from other teams, including the Seahawks. But it feels like it's a legitimate weapon that the Rams are utilizing and tapping into. And yeah, I was excited to see that. But I was also excited to see the kicking game. Did we go it was 7 for 7 on extra points, right? They scored 7 touchdowns.
Yeah.
The kicking game looked really good. And you obviously didn't kick like any field goals or like any long range ones.
Yeah.
But the Rams were struggling with extra points, and they hit every one of them in this game. And it didn't even look like where you're nervous. Where you're like, oh, this could be close. Like they almost blocked it. Like it looked efficient. It looked like it was supposed to be. So very happy to see that at least for 1 week, the kicking game was on the screws.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, anyway, that's us nerding out about the 49ers, lost to the Rams on Sunday, which again, we'll just, it feels so good, even though it's a couple days later.
This week we get to value it for a whole week.
Yeah. But let's get into this Rams Seahawks game here. And I guess if I could be so bold, I have this weird thing where I really don't like Sam Darnold.
Huh.
And don't get me wrong. I give credit. Sam Darnold was really good with the Vikings last year. But dating back to the loss in 2020 when Sam Darnold Sam Darnold was on the Jets, and ultimately that did start my YouTube channel career talking about the Rams. I still have just this, like, that was one of the most frustrating losses in the Sean McVay era in Rams history, in my time as a Rams fan. And I just have this annoying visual of Sam Darnold in a Jets uniform, like at the 50-yard line, like he like catches the ball awkwardly and then like just gives a screen pass and then gets a first down. And it was just, anyway, super annoying. Ever since then, it's not that Sam Darnold's a bad guy. I actually think he's done really well developing as a player. But since that loss, I like it when Sam Darnold loses, especially to the Rams. And since then, he's played the Rams twice with the Vikings last year, and then once with the Niners as well. And Carson Wentz, if you remember, the Wentz versus Darnold Week 18 matchup. Classic. So, Carson Wentz and the Rams beat him then. I like that. And then last year, they beat him on the Thursday night game, the Byron Young helmet thing.
Another classic.
Yeah, another classic. And then you get the playoff game when he's on the Vikings. That was like, a lot of people had picked the Vikings to win that game, but the Rams won in dominant fashion. So, needless to say, in this game, I am excited for the Rams to take on Sam Darnold again, and I hope that they have his number again and that we can see another Sam Darnold's loss. But what are your thoughts on Sam Darnold coming into this game? And everyone, we will get to your comments in just a sec. I see a lot of you guys commenting. That makes it so cool. Thanks for hanging out with us.
Yeah, totally. In terms of Sam Darnold, I wouldn't say I have like the same disliking towards him that you do, but I think it's fair with what he did on the Jets to us to still have those feelings. But I personally am happy for him just as a person, the success that he's had, like since everything went so bad. I obviously wish it wasn't on the Seahawks. I would rather it still be on the Vikings that he's doing well.
Yeah.
But I'm actually kind of excited for this Seahawks game for many reasons, but one of them being, when was the last time we saw the Seahawks as like a legitimate threat to the Rams in like a big game? Kind of like, I feel like over the years, it's been more so Rams Niners. That's like, this is the two top division teams facing off. And the Rams have just done really good against the Seahawks over the years. And so I'm kind of excited that Sam Darnold and the Seahawks are doing well in the sense of, we haven't had a build up to a Seahawk game in a while. And Sam Darnold has been a big part of their success. He's played really well. And even teams that have tried to blitz him and get in his face, like thinking that that's going to cause him to make all these turnovers, he hasn't been doing it there. So honestly, like I'm not scared of Sam Darnold. I'm not like worried he's just going to completely dice you apart, but I'm aware of what he can do. And I'm aware of how he's gotten them to this point, being 7-2, with a legit shot to win the division. And that just makes me excited because this game has big implications. And again, we haven't seen that for a Seahawks game in a while where it's like, ooh, this is a big one kind of thing.
Yeah, and because even I think we almost had it last year, but because the Seahawks and Rams won the same amount of games last year, right? Mm-hmm. But due to a strength of schedule tiebreaker, which is crazy, it came down to that. And because we kind of knew that going into Week 18, the Rams won the division, and it wasn't really a game because it was a Jimmy Garoppolo game, and that and
we almost won still.
Yeah, we almost won still. And so, you're right. It's a great point. We haven't had that with the Seahawks of like this massive game that just has huge playoff implications. And you and I were joking before the stream started. I feel like every national media show or like the PFF podcast, when they talk about this game, I've heard it said so much time, like, this is like a playoff game. And it's funny to think that because it is a game with massive playoff implications, but the loser of this game is by no means out of the division race or out of the playoff race.
Right.
It definitely, the winner of this game has a huge advantage in the division race for sure. But so it is a big game, and I don't think we can make a big enough deal out of it. But at the end of the day, it's not a playoff game.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I think it's just, this is easily the biggest, I don't even know how to put it, biggest build up to a game that the Rams have had this year. Even over the Eagles, and that may be just a personal thing for me of just knowing where these two teams are and how good they're looking. Because the Seahawks are one of the top teams in the NFL. You could make a legitimate argument. So definitely excited to see the way that this game plays out. And I just have a feeling it's going to be one of those stressful games, like Rams win by a point, maybe a field goal. I don't see this being anything close to what we saw against the Niners.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of blowout predictions in the Rams community that we're going to blow them out and win. I'm personally not in that camp. I'd love to see it, but I think this is going to be one of those really tight games, really close, one or two mistakes could decide the game.
Well, and both these teams are playing good football, right? Both these teams have defenses that can make plays. Both these teams have offensives that can make plays. And something can happen in the special teams unit. I absolutely agree. I think this is going to be a game where we just see two teams playing football at a really high level, and I think it's going to be a treat to football fans everywhere.
Yeah. Muad'Dib says it's giving Rams Chiefs 2018, which
Yeah.
I'm not in that spectrum of it being that high scoring, but I have thought about that a couple times this week where I'm like, this feels like it's going to be one of those classic kind of games, like
Yeah.
those iconic, and it's a division battle, which makes it even more fun. So I don't know. We're obviously going strictly off of vibes of just like what we're feeling. There's not really proof behind it because these two teams haven't played. But I do have a feeling it's going to be one of those really nice games to watch. And I agree with some of the people in the chat that the game should be flexed into a different, like the fact that this is a, like for my time, 2:05 window game is really sad because I feel like this is one of those prime time, like obvious games to put in there.
Totally. On that subject of Chiefs and Rams 2018, Porter is saying, do you think this is going to be the best game like Kansas City in 2018, or do you think Kupp is going to have a revenge game on us? Oh, man, we have to rip the Band-Aid off and talk about Cooper Kupp. So first off, I do think this is going to, like, I agree with what Rams House is saying. I think this is going to be a classic game. You have two teams that are well coached. You have lots of talent all on all sides of the ball here. And I think that we're going to see Seattle make some plays. We're going to see the Rams make some plays. And all the ingredients for one of the best games of the 2025 season are there for this. Cooper Kupp, what are your thoughts on Cooper Kupp this game? I know he's had some good plays with the Seahawks this year. By no means, has he been like Cooper Kupp 2021?
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on a Cooper Kupp revenge game narrative in this game?
Yeah, it's hard to know exactly how much stock to put into that because off the top of my head, the last time I checked, I think he's at like 367 yards, 26 receptions, and a touchdown on the whole year, which obviously isn't elite production in 9 games that he's played. But from what I've heard from a lot of Seahawks fans, they haven't really needed to use him that much because in like the game against the Cardinals that they just played this weekend, they only passed the ball 12 times. Like you're barely throwing the football at all. And in other games, like Jackson Smith-Njigba, JSN has been absolutely incredible this year. So he hasn't really been a guy that they've needed to rely on super crazy. So while I don't think he's the same guy as he was in 2021, I also don't think that they're actively trying to get him targets and get him the ball all the time, just because the way their offense is set up. But I could see them intentionally drawing up certain plays and maybe certain packages for Cooper Kupp this week, just knowing like what's on the line in this game and knowing the implications of it and the fact that he used to play for us. So maybe you could see a Cooper Kupp touchdown in this game, which he's only had one on the year with them. Maybe you could see like a screen drawn up, I just don't think he's going to go off like for over 100 yards and he could, but I don't get that kind of feeling.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think if Cooper Kupp has any kind of revenge game narrative, it's going to be because he makes like a clutch catch late in the game sort of thing.
Like third down kind of.
Yeah, like a big third or fourth down conversion or something like that. Yeah, no, I agree. And at the same time, I'm not looking forward, like as a huge Cooper Kupp fan.
Yeah,
I'm not looking forward to seeing him in a Seahawks uniform.
Yeah, because we haven't seen really a full game of, we haven't actively watched him in a full game yet.
No,
so
it's gonna be weird. Like, and they're gonna like again. The Rams are a classy organization, so they're probably. I'm assuming they're gonna do some sort of like welcome montage of Cooper Kupp, like they did for Jared Goff back in the day. Yes, like that, like a tribute to Kupp, and I'm all for that. That's awesome.
Yeah,
but like at the same time, I'm just like, oh man, I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be. I think it'll be one of those things that when the game starts, kind of similar to the players, where you just see him as like another player that you're hoping to stop, and we'll see what happens. But it'll definitely. I think he's one of those emotional guys that like this game will mean a lot to him, and you'll probably get those pictures like pregame from the Rams social media of him and Puka talking and him and McVay. The thing I like about it is while he wanted to stay with the Rams and it wasn't his choice to leave, he hasn't like trashed the organization since leaving, even though they almost blindsided him in a way. Like I don't know if they were really fully giving him hints throughout the year that this was probably his last year. But you see a difference between that and like a guy like Ernest Jones on the other side of the ball on the Seahawks. And I mean, there's been a couple comments he's made in the past about the Rams organization, and you can just kind of feel a little bit different energy between the two. So I have no complaints against Cooper Kupp, and he's done nothing but like respect the organization, and he gave everything into the organization. I'm just hoping, and I don't think he will, I'm just hoping that he's not going to like pop off against the Rams. And like you said, it could be those clutch moments more so that you see him show up like a big third down, because that's what he did for us too.
Yeah, absolutely. Strikers here say, it's been a great week. I live by Seattle. I'm walking around here all decked out in Rams gear.
Oh yeah. That's the only way to do it.
That's really cool. We're going to talk about kickers. Apparently you like them thick.
I guess.
Would you allow me to be so bold to play my drop for the thicker kicker?
I did not know we had a drop. Let's see it.
Well, when he makes a kick, I play this drop during the watch party.
Most people, it just looks like an ordinary guy. Like you saw him walking on the street, you wouldn't be like, "That's an NFL kicker."
Yeah, you know what? I get excited for Harrison Mevis just because you could tell he's a guy. He's been waiting for his opportunity. He's been honing his craft. He played well in the USFL, and here he is. And I know a lot of people said like, "Oh, I would have liked to see him make like a 50-yard kick in a game or something like that," but he was asked to make extra points. And if that's our strategy to kick, like to fix our kicking situation of like, oh, let's just only score touchdowns, that works for me.
I'm down.
yeah, I'm A-okay with that.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, he did as much as he could with the opportunities he had. And like I said, like all the field goals he made during the 49ers game, there was not one kick where I was like, oh, that was close. Like he almost missed that, or oh, that was almost blocked. So that's more so what encouraged me of the optics of it, of like we didn't even have any close calls, which we've had so many times this year. And I'm also happy that they kept Josh Carty and they didn't get rid of him off of this, because like you still saw what he could do last year, but I like how they're keeping him just in terms of like it helps for competition between both of them and keeping them on their P's and Q's. So definitely like the move that they did there. And I have a feeling we may actually see like a field goal attempt this game for Mevis, where it's not just an extra point. Yep. So I'm excited to see what happens, but hopefully we won't need him a ton, obviously.
Definitely. Strikers, I don't think we'll see Jarquez Hunter. I know you're not the first Ram fan to ask this in my chat, at least.
Yeah.
I kind of like what the Rams are doing with Kyron Williams and Blake Corum right now. Not that I wouldn't get excited to see Jarquez Hunter, but Rams says, do you think we see him at all this year?
Unless there's an injury, I don't think so.
Yeah.
But even when there was an injury that happened in that room, I don't even remember Blake Corum or Kyron getting hurt, but I remember a point in the season when JB Long asked about the fact that if one of these guys goes down, would you bring up Ronnie Rivers or would you just have Jarquez go in there? And they brought up Ronnie Rivers. And I feel like that kind of speaks to where Jarquez is at right now, where it's like he can be a good player in the future. I just think right now we're not going to really see him too much because Blake Corum and Kyron are good as they are. And we didn't even see Blake Corum a ton last year, and they used a third-round pick on him. So I don't think we'll see him unless it comes to like complete necessity.
Yeah, absolutely. We got Sheriff Joe Bags of Rams Showcase. Shout out Sheriff Joe.
Sheriff.
And he's editing the next legendary episode of Rams Showcase that will come out, I'm assuming, tomorrow. So excited for that. Shout out Sheriff Joe. Appreciate all the work you do for great Rams content. Everyone make sure you're subscribed to Rams Showcase. And just one of the you know what? Rams Showcase makes me a better Rams fan, and so I love listening to it every Thursday that it comes on out. And Sheriff Joe just does such a great job.
And a really nice guy too.
Love absolutely, yeah. Who needs field goals when you got Stafford? Of course, yeah,
exactly. I mean, with how well he's playing, he could probably kick the field goal for
Yeah,
us.
right? Maybe that's the solution. Yeah.
Yeah. I want to pull up
Oh,
this comment here,
yeah.
if you're good. How do you think we'll stop JSN or Cup?
Mm,
Sam been on a roll. Plus our secondary let Mac Jones pass for 300 plus yards. What are
yeah.
your thoughts on this?
I think Chris Shula has to call a great game.
Mhm.
With the Rams don't blitz much, this might be a game where you dial something up. And when I especially like JSN, he is like we've seen him take over games this year. Right?
Incredible.
Like he was great last year. He's on another level this year. And again, we're Puka Nakua stance, proud of it. Totally. But Puka Nakua and JSN, they're very different wide receivers in what they do. And like if you look at JSN, he's become just such a developed, polished route runner. It's been cool to see the chemistry between him and Sam Darnold. It really seems like that as soon as Sam Darnold got into that building, he was just like, "Hey, you're my new best friend." Like, and they just got on the same page. So I think it's important for the Rams pass rush, especially at the interior position, to get pressure, collapse that pocket fast. And I don't know if this is exactly how to beat Seattle, but I think if you can take away their like intermediate and long routes of their route tree, that actually goes against Sam Darnold with the way he's been playing, right? And I'm sure they'll try and get the ball out quick, and then that will be up to the Rams linebackers and secondary players to make sure that they make good tackles, and they might have to do some open field tackles. But that's the yards like Mac Jones passing for 300 yards. That doesn't really bother me, especially because some of those were in garbage time.
Mm-hmm.
What would bother me is if we see this Seattle offense get in a rhythm where they're just marching down the field and scoring early, fast and option, then that's a concern if they're letting there be a two-dimensional team, letting Kenneth Walker and Zach Charbonnet run the rock along with picking apart our defense with JSN and Cooper Kupp. So I'm concerned, but I do think that Chris Shula has the pieces and potential on this offense, on this defense, to slow them down. Yeah, what are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, it's a very interesting point because I'm always the guy that loves blitzing and loves the hybrid looks and bringing all these different kinds of pressures at quarterbacks, especially that like in the past have struggled versus it. But this week, I'm very much in a different side of the spectrum, which I never really find myself in, which is I kind of want to see the Rams play a little bit more backed off and play a little bit bend but don't break style defense and hope that Sam Darnold will make a mistake if you make them go on like 12, 13 play drives versus getting in their face, pressing, bringing a bunch of blitzes. Because I heard from Brandon Kane from the Hawks Nest, really good Seahawks YouTuber.
Yeah.
He's talked about the fact that Sam Darnold has been blitzed at an incredible rate this year, and he's done extremely well versus it. And that I think he's averaging almost like 10 or 11 yards per pass, Sam Darnold is, which is crazy. He's not just like dumping it off every play. And a lot of that is because defenses are coming up to the line, trying to bring everybody or stack the box to stop the run. And then JSN gets over the top. And now they added Rashid Shaheed, who's a speedster there, to where I'm like, I don't actually want to play super aggressive. I don't want to bring everybody down and let him beat you over the top because he's done that all year.
Yeah.
I would rather make him go on 13, 14 play drives and bet on him making a mistake at some point. Because I do think that this game is going to come down to more of what team makes that one crucial mistake. What team has less turnovers is probably going to win the game. And that's kind of my thing. I think you should make some blitzes here or there. But I actually don't want to see them do that a ton this game, which, again, is rare territory for me to come from.
No, that's an interesting perspective for sure. Only time will tell to see what this Rams defense does to it. I'll bring up just this quick. I guess I have not watched this, but in Kupp's press conference today, he said he loves us, but once the game starts, he'll be focused on winning like any opponent. That's just class act Cooper Kupp. I tell you.
You could see a mile away that came from Cooper Kupp. That kind of quote, very Cooper Kuppy.
Sheriff Joe is saying, I like that our kicker issues are coming out when we're beating people by 20 points a game.
Yeah, good time to get it out of the way for sure.
Tony brings up a really good point here. Hello, Tony. Good to see you as always. Saying, I'm looking forward to the new uniforms. The Rams are going to look tight and play that way. What are your thoughts as, pardon me, we go midnight mode?
I like it. I like it.
Special
I'm
effects,
excited.
right?
Yeah, I like what you're doing there. That's a high operation over there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why. Like my whole life, I've always liked uniforms and like the aesthetics of football.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited to see a new uniform take the field for the first time for the Rams since that 2021 season with the modern throwbacks. And these are cool. I feel like it's weird how they're like midnight mode happening in the daytime to me. Like that's the only strange part. Like when you look at these uniforms, you'd think it'd be a nighttime game, like prime time, which would look sick. So that's the only weird part about it. But like honestly, I just can't wait to see them on the field because we've seen those media day graphics, but I'm excited to see them actually on the field for sure.
Yeah, I'm excited to see how they look in SoFi, and I will stand by. They are not black; they are midnight blue. And
There's a difference.
There is a difference. And I made a video using my Canva account, and you can see there is a difference, and you have to look for it. So anybody out there who's like, they're just black uniforms, no, they are midnight blue.
Yeah, I've seen people be like, those are just the Steelers uniforms. I'm like, are the Steelers uniforms blue?
Yeah.
I didn't hear about that. But yeah, I'm excited to see that. Definitely will be cool. I think Davante Adams will look really cool in it with the black visor. Jared Verse will look really good. Like, can't go wrong with these uniforms.
I feel like there's this big game coming for Jared Verse. Maybe it's this game, maybe it's what, but I feel like this year, at some point, we're going to see a Jared Verse game where, like, we look back and like, oh yeah, we won that game because Jared Verse was just on fire, right?
Yeah,
and
we're kind of waiting for that game for sure. And like, Rams fans know he's made a big impact even when he's not putting up big sacks. It's not to the level of Aaron Donald of like, even if he's not filling out the sack sheet, like, he's just disrupting every play. I wouldn't say we're quite to that level, but you can see like a noticeable difference when Jared Verse is on the field versus when he's off the field. And he had a blocked field goal last week, which was really cool to see. So
that was awesome. Yeah, we aren't talking about that enough. It was end up there. Yeah,
it was fun to see the Rams be on the better end of a blocked kick this year for the first time. We've been so used to seeing a different team do it to us, where I was like, finally, we got to see the Rams get one.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm sorry if I missed your comments, everyone. So many great comments for people coming in here. A lot of people talking about Cooper Kupps. And yeah, it's definitely, it's exciting to have a game like this. Like, how blessed are we as fans to have a team that's 7-2 going into week 11, going up against a 7-2 division rival?
Yeah, seriously, this game is, I just want it to get here already. It's like so much anticipation. I want to bring up this comment from Muad'Dib. He says, Agent 0 on the left, Josiah Stewart on the right, V8 in the middle. I want to see that, which honestly, that's not a bad idea. We've seen Jared Verse do that against even good centers this year where he gets that running start and blows them up with the bull rush. I'd be more open to that than them blitzing all the time to see that thrown in there.
Yeah.
Because Josiah Stewart is a very good edge rusher. Like, I don't think he gets a lot of credit, but you have him, Agent 0 on the other side, V8 in the middle. I'm honestly like, sign me up for that. I think that'd be cool, even if you get it like maybe 5 or 6 plays out of the game.
Yeah, no, I'd agree with that for sure. Well, everyone, I think we have reached the point of our show where I think it's time to over Rams act. Are you ready for over Rams action?
So ready.
Yeah.
This can help us get us closer to Rams Seahawks.
Yes.
So let's do some over Rams action Wednesday.
Let's go.
If you guys are new, as always, just want to respect the new people that are in here. Over Rams Action Wednesday is similar in a spinoff to what Rich Eisen and Chris Brockman do on Overreaction Monday. It's basically hot takes pitched to Peo time and you guys in the chat. And you guys are going to react if it's a fair take or if it's a hot take. But we call hot takes around here over Rams Action. So Obviously, all the topics are going to be centered around the LA Rams because that's the only way to go. So, starting off with number 1, Rams versus Seahawks this weekend is going to be a preview for the NFC Championship game this year.
Okay, let me talk this out, like what Rich Eisen does. So, your contenders in the NFC right now are the Rams and Seahawks, the Lions, the Eagles. The Bucks are banged up, but I'll put them in there.
Maybe Packers, but
I was gonna say I don't feel the Packers are just I think they're just too inconsistent right now.
Yeah, I agree.
The Eagles, with the stuff with AJ Brown, I feel like winning is hiding some locker room drama. Like I feel like the Eagles aren't crazy far from imploding a little bit.
Yeah. It feels like that for sure.
I think it comes down to the Rams, Seahawks, and Lions, to be honest. I don't think that's an over Rams action. I could see a scenario where it's the Rams and Seahawks. Can Sam Darnold get over his playoff jitters? We'll see. We'll see. That would really be the only thing. So, but yeah, that's a good one to start coming in hot. Rams house, I tell you.
Yeah.
But I'm going to say not an over Rams action, much like Muabdib here.
Yeah, I agree. I look at the Rams and Seahawks as clearly the two best teams in the NFC right now. And it's like a lot of people want to throw the Lions in there. I'm not quite there still on them. To your point, the Packers are just eh. And then the Lions, or not the Lions, who are we just talking? The Eagles. You were talking about like the drama and them almost imploding. To me, they feel like the definition of like a 500 team, like hovering around 500. Like that's just the way it feels when you watch them. And maybe it's just the way they play is just kind of boring. I don't know. But even like AJ Brown today was on a stream and he was talking about like how he's not happy and like get rid of me if I'm on your fantasy team. Like it feels like there's always something going on compared to the so obviously you'd want to see Rams Seahawks NFC Championship game at SoFi, but I also think it'd be so sick to have that at Lumen Field. Like that would be like that atmosphere, and if the Rams could pull off a win. Either way, I think these two teams are good enough. My only question with the Seahawks is like, are they still a little bit too young to get all the way to the championship game?
Yeah.
Because they've been a solid team for a while, but this year they're really starting to put it together. But they do have a lot of young talent still around there. So that would definitely be a question needing to be answered there.
Yeah. Starting off hot. What do you got next?
All right. Number 2. This could potentially be a hot take. We'll see. Rams defense will have more sacks than Sam Darnold has touchdowns this game.
You know what? With the susceptible interior line of the Seahawks, I'm going to say that's not an over Rams action. I think the Rams defense is ticked off that they did not get to Mac Jones last week. And I could see a bounce back performance this week where they especially if the Rams are playing with the lead in the second half and the Rams they earn the right to rush the passer. I could see the Rams getting 6-7 sacks in this game. Yeah. Yeah,
I'm kind of on the fence with this one because I have mentioned I think this is going to be a lower scoring game. I predict 21-20 Rams win. So when I put it that way, even if the Seahawks threw for every touchdown there, let's just say that would only be like 2 touchdowns if you put up 20 points as the Seahawks because you have 2 touchdowns, 2 field goals. So to get 3 sacks, I don't think is unreasonable. But I'm also like curious to see the kind of game plan that the Seahawks are going to have offensively versus this Rams defense, and that's something we haven't seen this year. So we'll see what ends up happening, but I think you could go either way on this one.
Yep. No, absolutely. Yeah, good one.
Thank you. Number 3, the Rams versus Seahawks game is more likely to have 40 combined points than it is to have 60 combined points. So basically, I'm saying it's more likely for it to be lower scoring than it is going to be higher scoring.
I think these defenses are playing at a high enough level. I actually think 40 is more realistic than 60. Yeah, I'm going to say that's an over Rams action. I see that some people are disagreeing here, but I don't know. Yeah, I think that I. I really don't know how this game is going to turn out, but I'm thinking it's going to be lower scoring.
Me too. I'm definitely feeling that. Lower scoring all the way. Some people are going to say it's boring, but it's two division teams that know each other, two really good defenses. So again, I think Rams are going to win 21-20.
I
So I
love
think it's
that,
going to be a
Judo.
lower. That would be nice. Sheriff Joe Bag says, I'm so torn.
Yeah.
I just get that vibe. Like, I don't get the vibe that this game is going to be high scoring, like Rams and Chiefs, like people were saying earlier. I get the vibe it's going to be more of a defensive battle. But that's just me. All right. Number 4. Rams will have more yards. Let's see. Actually, I'm going to restart this one. Number 4. JSN will have more yards than the Rams tight ends plus running backs have in receiving yards combined.
That's an over Rams action. The Rams offense, especially like the way they're utilizing tight ends and balancing their run game. I know the Seahawks defense is better than a lot of the defenses the Rams have been facing, but I absolutely think I could see JSN having a good game. I really could. And that's definitely when you look at the Seahawks offense, the first player you got to have a game plan for is JSN.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think so much to a point where he's going to have like 200 plus yards this game. He's capable of that, but I think that the Rams, putting the Rams tight ends and running backs together receiving, no, I think that the group as a whole will outproduce JSN.
See, I'm going kind of back and forth on this one
Oh,
because it's tight ends, obviously, so it's not like receivers. I could see the Rams tight ends maybe combining for 100 yards again, like all three of them together. But the Rams don't really use their running backs as much out of the backfield to catch passes as I think we would like to see. So JSN having, let's say, like 120 yards in this game, I think could beat the mark. So I don't know. I really could see, like, I don't want JSN to go off, but I think he's going to have a good game. And I don't think it's unlikely or unreasonable to say that he has more than those two combined.
just a short thing I just want to mention about the Rams tight end. So I was talking to one of my friends who I talk football with. He's a Dolphins fan, and he was like, "Yeah, that Rams, 12 personnel is just like amazing. Like when you guys use like a 2 or 3 tight end set, like you guys are unstoppable." And I'm like, "Can you name a Rams tight end?" And he's like, Tyler Higbee. And I'm like, correct. Can you name another one? He's like, no. Yeah.
That's hilarious.
But Kobe Parkinson and Terrence Ferguson and Davis Allen, all of them, all 4 of them are playing such good football. And I hope they all become household names and get on like cereal boxes.
That'd be hilarious. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to track because I've heard a lot this week that the Seahawks do a really good job against tight ends. So the same guy. We'll see what happens though. Definitely curious to keep an eye on this one.
Yeah.
All right, my 5th and final over Rams action topic here.
Let's hear it.
The Rams or Seahawks are going to have a play longer than either team's longest field goal.
Oh, so hypothetically, if the Rams or Seahawks had a 50-yard field goal, you think that they will have someone's going to have like a 51-yard plus passing play or rushing play. Ooh, that's a good one. You know what? I don't think that's an over Rams action. And it might be a like 90-yard pick 6 by Emmanuel Forbes or something. But yeah, I don't think that going into this game, I would not say that like the kicking game is at the top. Like it could be, it comes down to a field goal, but I actually don't think a field goal, like will be like the deciding factor of this game. Who knows? But yeah, that's what I say.
Yeah, going to be interesting to see. Sheriff Joe Bag says, I'll go a step further. I say both teams have one play that is longer than either team's longest field goal.
Yeah.
We'll see. JSN has been a really big threat this year on like deep plays, whether it's like posts or a streak or whatever. Like he's kind of specialized in those deep ones this year. Had a lot of big plays. I feel like Davante Adams or Puka Nacua could have one of those long plays this week. That's like, and the Rams offense has been very explosive this year, big chunks. And so I don't think it's an over Rams action to say either one of these teams has a longer play than either team's longest field goal.
Absolutely. Yeah. Rams, those were phenomenal over Rams action. Great job putting those together. Thank you so much for always doing that. I got to give a shout out here to a Rams content creator I learned about this past year. Carner, I always mess this up. Carner Rose Latinos. Vamos Rams. For anyone who's looking for Rams content in Spanish, best Rams fan channel out there on the internet. Go subscribe to him and his colleagues. They're fantastic. And they actually started the Rams Day movement. I don't know if you saw it. I saw a couple people post about it on the Rams versus Saints Day, where it was hashtag Rams Day. And so I'm excited to do that again with him next year.
That's super sick. Glad to learn about it. I love his profile picture.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah, he's great. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. Stafford's gonna throw a Puka bomb. Love it. We got both teams will need points, so that they will forego a field goal on fourth down. How many fourth down stops will the Rams have? I think over 3. Ooh,
that's pretty bold.
You know what? They've been like against the Jags and the Niners. They've been pretty good on fourth down.
Yeah, that's true. I just don't know if I see the Seahawks going for it that many times, but this game definitely could require that.
Yeah. I hadn't thought about it in depth, but I don't think it goes over 3, but I don't think it goes under 3. I think it'll be 3 specifically right on.
I'd love to see that. That'd be so fun.
We got Seahawks Eddie in here.
What's up, Seahawks Eddie?
Good to see you, man.
Good to see you.
Good luck to your Seahawks, and obviously, where I'm sure you're excited about this game. 2 7-2 juggernaut teams going head to head for a division. For the lead in the division and possibly the lead in the NFC, depending on what happens with the Eagles.
You should expound on that a little bit more, because you told me and Sheriff Joe Bags that with the Seahawks and Eagles game, and if the Rams win, what could possibly happen?
Yeah, so this was last week. If the Seahawks if the Seahawks would have lost to the Cardinals and the Eagles would have lost to the Packers, the Rams would have been in first place in the NFC. Obviously, the Cardinals, they took they had some difficulties, and I think it was actually more the Seahawks are just a way better team than the Cardinals right now.
Yeah,
but then the Eagles and Packers had one of the worst Monday night games I've ever seen. I had to turn it off in the third quarter. I couldn't.
That's pretty ugly.
So this week, I don't know who are the Eagles playing this week.
I'm actually not sure.
Eagles.
It's probably going to be a boring game no matter what.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, that's just sort of Eagles football right now. The Lions.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, Sunday night.
Oh, right. So. Oh, man, this is an interesting Sunday, because if the Rams or the Seahawks beat each other, and if the Lions beat the Eagles, the winner of this Rams-Seahawks game is in first place in the NFC.
That's what I'm looking forward to that.
It's going to be a fun Sunday.
That's why, there's so many big games this Sunday to keep an eye on. But to think of the Rams going up to the number 1 seed, obviously so many weeks left. That's just another element thrown into this game that makes it even more enticing to watch.
Yeah. I see Seahawks that is very excited for this game, and yes, thanks to the Mighty Eagles. So, man, it's gonna be like watch this game, then like grab something to eat, get ready for the Lions Eagles game.
Oh, I'm excited. This should be a fun Sunday.
Big, as Robert says, big week. Absolutely. Yeah. So we'll be cheering on Jared Goff.
The cook.
Oh man. Well, that being said, are you ready to play some What's More Likely, but it's just the Rams?
Oh yeah, let's do it.
Okay, so I got a couple here. For those of you who are new, I'll give a this or that situation, and we want to hear, between the two scenarios, which one you think is more likely to happen. They are all very Rams-centric, and I actually want to start this one off by one that came in our chat from Porter here, and he said, what's more likely? The Rams defense gets 9 sacks again, or less than that?
I personally think it's more likely less than that. To be like, the Seahawks offensive line has done so good that this entire year, Sam Darnold has only taken 10 sacks total.
Yep.
So if we were to get almost 10 sacks in one game, I mean, I wouldn't put it past the Rams defense. I just don't expect that many personally.
Yeah, that's fair. But yeah, Porter, thanks for putting that in. And if anyone else is watching, and if you want to put a what's more likely scenario in the chat, we'll do our best to put it up on screen, and happy to engage in comments with this. So here, I got 4 for you here. Okay.
Right. Let's go.
Number 1, what's more likely? Cooper Kupp is held under 100 yards, or the Rams have over 500 yards total offense?
I think Cooper Kupp is going to be held under 100 yards. Has he had a game this year over 100 yards? He may have had one.
I couldn't tell you.
But I think it's gonna be what we were talking about earlier. I think Cooper Kupp's going to be more so annoying on those big, like, crucial kind of things, like third downs or in the red zone. I don't think he's going to go off for a ton of yards personally.
Yeah,
that's a good one. Fair. 500 yards of offense would be insane against this defense.
I love it. Strikers says both, and then
honestly,
nobody says I think neither.
Yeah, that's a good one. I personally think Kupp's going to be under 100 yards, just because that's kind of been the pace this year that he's been on.
Okay, fair enough. All right, maybe this next one will stump you guys a little bit more. What's more likely? Sam Darnold throws an interception in the first half of this game, or Matthew Stafford throws a touchdown pass more than 50 yards?
This is one of those hard ones because I want to say both. I really do want to say both.
I know, but that's the point.
Right? I'm going to say Matthew Stafford throws a touchdown more than 50 yards. I really get that feeling that we're going to see a deep touchdown. Maybe Davante Adams, maybe Puka Nacua, maybe Xavier Smith. You never know. I think that we're going to see one of those.
Yeah.
But I could see a Sam Darnold interception. If I had to pick one, though, I think it's going to be Matthew Stafford throws a touchdown for more than 50 yards.
Yeah, I could see it. I could see it. Stafford is inedible. Yes. Striker, that's not the point of the game, right? You're supposed to. You can't always pick both. You got to pick one. It's supposed to be a hard decision.
That one was hard because I really.
Devin's also played the both game. Sheriff Joe's has to play Darnold pick. I think we get one on him in their first or second drive. Yeah, I like that. That
would be a huge momentum thing.
Okay, I got 2 more here for you.
Okay.
This next one's a fun one. Okay, and I think hopefully no one says both on this one here. Even though it'd be cool if both happen. What's more likely? A Rams tight end scores the first touchdown of the game, or Emmanuel Forbes Jr. gets a pick 6 this game?
I'm just going to go with the Rams tight end scoring the first touchdown. That's just been the trend we've seen with the Rams, how much they've involved them. And you have 3 different guys that could do it on the same play. So I'm going to go with that one. I'd love to see a Forbes pick 6 3 weeks in a row with an interception. But I think it's going to be more likely a Rams tight end scores a touchdown first.
If I changed it to any Rams defensive player getting a pick 6, does that change your answer?
No, the Rams just keep using this 13 personnel, and they keep using all these. So I think I would keep it still at a tight end scoring.
Okay, fair. Looks like everyone is saying tight end here. Okay, that's fair.
I could see a pick 6 though. I just think like if I had to put my money on one thing, it's like what's more likely in that scenario. I think like even just seeing a block and release touchdown by Higbee like would not surprise me at all.
Yeah. I just think this Rams defense is due for a pick six at some point.
Not Troy Reader though. That's just for the Saints game.
I'm still sad that didn't happen, but maybe my Troy Reader pick six dream just wasn't meant to be.
Or maybe it's next year. Who knows?
Okay, here's a fun one for you. Okay, everyone, some people might be sensitive for this next one here. Okay, that's okay. Right. What's more likely? Puka Nacua goes the entire game without going into the blue tent, or Kyren Williams rushes for over 100 yards.
Again, both very likely, in my opinion. That's a good one. I'm going to say Kyren Williams rushes for over 100 yards. And it's not that I think Puka is going to get hurt. I just think that this is going to be a good Kyren game.
Yeah, that's fair. I just think that there's always something with Puka of like he get like and I think it's his style of play that there's someone that's always like, oh, get Puka in the like blue net. Like we're gonna have to start calling it the Puka tent. But like whether it's like him bleeding or him like getting a helmet to helmet and they call him in the blue tent, or like he just like gets the wind knocked out of him or something. It's just like his style of play. So that's why I put this one in. But yeah, I think Kyren could have a great game against the Seahawks.
Well, even like how many times have we seen Puka Nacua get hurt and we get really concerned? And it's like, oh, he just says after the game, like, oh, I just got the air knocked out of me.
Yeah.
And it's like if he lands on the football with a catch, or like sometimes I'm like, I get so concerned and then it's just like the air got knocked out of him. So I just feel like, I don't know. I feel like Kyren could have a good game this game.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are thinking that in the chat for sure.
Oh, no. Do you see the one from Paul?
I'm going to bring that up. A few people brought in some what's more likely. So we'll start off with that Paul one here. What's more likely, Darnold interception or Kyren fumble? Asking the tough questions, Paul. Yeah, I'm going to say Darnold interception too.
It does feel like the Rams might get at least one on Darnold. With how good he's played this year, I could see one happening. Yeah. But like Kyren's really picked up his fumbling. Like the only fumble he's had on the year this year is still that Niners game one, right?
Yeah.
I think it's just because it happened in such a big moment that people think that it's like still been a big problem this year, but he's only had one to my.
Yeah, no, and I actually really like the Blake Corum and Kyren Williams kind of thunder and lightning thing they got going on right now. I think that can sometimes be a tough balance to find in the NFL, but I think they found it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I want to bring this up real quick because Sheriff Joe, do you remember the other fumble he had? I'm really trying to I can't remember that second fumble. I feel like I should.
Was it two fumbles in the same game against the Niners?
No, because Corum had one.
Right. Yeah.
I don't remember the other one.
I'm blanking too. Yeah. Help us out in the chat, guys, if you remember.
Yeah. We definitely need the help there for sure.
I like this one here. Is Will Punchman Landman force another turnover this game?
Why would you bet against him, to be honest? Like, insane. I don't know. That'd be a scary sight. You're a ball carrier and you see 53 with his fist down.
Like he almost had a second one last week too, right? But Christian McCaffrey just got his knee down in time. Yeah,
the ball was starting to squirm out, and he recollected. Yeah, that's a good point there.
Yeah. It like on the Nate Landman subject. Every now and then you see a player like him where they just have a knack for doing that. And I'm so glad the Rams found him via free agency. I hope he's a Ram for many years to come. But it's so cool to have a guy like that on defense.
Yeah, I totally agree with you, especially at that linebacker position, because he's a really good tackler too. And the fact he got the captain patch in his first year with the Rams, like so quickly, I think speaks to who he is. I know the Rams don't like to extend linebackers, but I do have a feeling this is going to be one of those that we keep around. And I hope we do it sooner or later before it gets pretty expensive.
Totally. Ram Showcase said it was versus the Colts, right?
So that one was weird because when you rewatch it and you see it in slow motion, the ball never got into Kyron's hands. Like he was touching it, but it never like actually got in correctly. That one felt a little bit more like a misexchange between him and Stafford than it did like Kyron fumbling. But I guess like technically that's another fumble.
Absolutely. Well, everyone, we are coming to the end of our show here. It's been awesome hanging out with you all. Thanks for all your great comments and listening and watching, all that good stuff. Rams House, what do you got coming up in terms of content?
Yeah, I will be clipping out the Over Rams action segment probably sometime around tomorrow for those who didn't catch it live. And hopefully we'll be doing a post-game reaction to the Rams Seahawks game. It's actually my mom's birthday on Sunday, so I want to make sure she's like so we'll see if I have time to do that, but we are planning on doing that and then going to do a game preview on Tuesday for the next Rams game. What about you?
I will be doing a watch party for the Rams Seahawks game from some hotel somewhere in Canada. So you can tune in to see if I have a sketchy hotel room or a nice one. And then I'll be clipping out a couple parts of this live stream, which has been a lot of fun. And thanks everyone who watches that and supports that way. And for those of you, some of you have maybe noticed, I saw Paul notice, we are trying something new this First Down Rams episode where we're streaming to both the Shorts tab vertically, but also our regular YouTube channels. Really just we've seen a couple other people do it, and we're going to see if people like it. If people don't really watch one, the vertical stream, then we'll maybe stop doing it, but we just wanted to experiment a little bit. So we appreciate you guys liking, subscribing, all that good stuff. And it's it's an honor to talk about the Rams on YouTube.
Sorry, I'm just looking in the comment section. It's hilarious. I don't know if you caught this. Between Muad'Dib and Ram Showcase, they said
no way. They said the same comment at the exact same time.
Literally one after another. And then later on, Muad'Dib said, "Maybe if we're not so different, you and I." It's hilarious.
Oh, that's incredible.
What are the odds?
Oh man, I'm dead.
Oh my gosh, that's the best part of the stream for sure.
That was incredible. Sorry, I get laugh attacks.
Oh, you're good. I just love how it's like it didn't happen like a few comments apart from each other. It's literally like one after another.
That was incredible. Ramhouse, you're gonna have to take us out, man.
Yeah. All right. With Peo Time dying, you guys just caused that. We thank you guys so much for watching this First Down Rams episode. I'm so excited for this Rams Seahawks game, and I could tell you guys are too. You guys were blowing it up in the chat tonight, and I had such a great time because this show is never.
Wait. Did they just do this?
What in the world?
What? It happened again? What?
Was that planned?
Wait, these are clearly two different people in ATA and Strike.
I'm so confused.
Wait.
Muad'Dib says we're all bots.
This is incredible. I'm dying.
I'm so confused. If this starts happening in your watch party on Sunday, you're gonna have to let me know.
I will. I can't. I'm shocked.
On that note, thank you guys so much for all your comments and for just tuning in to watch us tonight. You guys make what could just be two Rams guys talking it out about Rams into a really fun night with all the comments that you guys have and the way you guys participate. This show truly would not be the same without you guys in the chat. So I appreciate you guys. I know Peo does. But that's going to do it for First Down Rams. So I hope you guys have a great night.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you very much.